The ocean tried to kill me 3 times before it finally spit me out. First, the cargo ship's hull cracked open like an egg. Second, the undertow dragged me down so deep my lungs nearly burst. Third, a wave slammed me against something solid. Rocks, maybe, and everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on sand. White sand, the kind you see in vacation commercials. Above me, palm trees swayed against a purple sky. I groaned and rolled onto my side. Every muscle in my body screamed. My Navy SEAL training had kept me alive, but barely. I touched my ribs. Nothing broken. Small miracle. Then I heard the footsteps. Heavy. Too heavy. The ground actually trembled beneath me. My survival instincts kicked in. I scrambled backward, my hand reaching for a weapon that wasn't there. And then I looked up. The woman standing over me was at least 8 feet tall. She had shoulders like a linebacker and arms thicker than my thighs. Bronze skin covered in tribal tattoos, dark hair braided with bones and shells. In her hand, she held a spear that could skewer a car. My mouth went dry. What the? 3 more giant women emerged from the jungle behind her, all armed, all staring at me like I was something they'd never seen before. The first woman spoke in a language I didn't recognize. It sounded ancient, guttural. The others responded, their voices rumbling like distant thunder. Then the tallest one pointed her spear at my chest. She said something that needed no translation. Get up, now. I raised my hands slowly. Easy, I'm not a threat. They didn't understand my words, but they understood surrender. 2 of them grabbed my arms and lifted me like I weighed nothing. My feet dangled 6 inches off the ground. They carried me into the jungle. For 20 minutes, I saw nothing but green. Vines, ferns, trees so massive they blocked out the sky. Then the jungle opened up, and my breath caught in my throat. A city. Stone temples rose from the earth like something out of a history book. Massive pillars, carved statues of women warriors, torches burning in broad daylight, and everywhere, giant women, dozens of them, maybe hundreds. They stopped what they were doing and stared. Some whispered. Others gripped their weapons tighter. I noticed something else, something that made my stomach drop. There were no men, not a single one. The warriors brought me to the largest temple. Inside, the air was thick with incense. Shadows danced on the walls, and at the far end, sitting on a throne made of whale bones, was the biggest woman I had ever seen. She had to be 9 feet tall. Silver hair cascaded down her shoulders. Her face was lined with age, but her eyes burned with fierce intelligence. A crown of black coral sat on her head. This was their queen. I knew it without being told. She studied me for a long moment. Then she spoke, and to my shock, the words were English. "You are the one from the dying waters." I blinked. "You speak English?" "I speak many tongues. Ships have washed upon our shores before." She leaned forward, and I saw something in her eyes. Desperation. "I am Queen Ravana, and you, small man, are the answer to a prayer we have whispered for 60 years. My jaw tightened. What prayer? Queen Ravana smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Our men are gone. Our bloodline is dying. You will give us children. She paused. Or you will give us your blood. I spent 3 days in a stone cell before anyone explained what was really happening. The cell wasn't terrible. They gave me food, water, a bed made of woven grass. But the door was solid rock, and the women guarding it could snap me in half without breaking a sweat. On the 4th day, someone new came to visit. She was younger than the others, maybe mid-20s in human terms. Tall and muscular like the rest, but there was something different about her. Something hungry in her eyes. "I am Valka," she said through the bars, "the Queen's niece." I stood up slowly. "Great. Can you tell your aunt I'm not interested in being a human stud farm?" Valka laughed. It was a cold sound. "You don't understand, small man. You don't have a choice." She unlocked the door and gestured for me to follow. 2 guards fell in behind us. We walked through the temple complex. Giant women stopped to stare. Children, all girls, I noticed, pointed and whispered. I felt like an animal in a zoo. "Where are we going?" I asked. "To see the Queen. She wants you to understand why you're here." Valka led me to a chamber I hadn't seen before. The smell hit me first. Sickness, death creeping in at the edges. Queen Ravana lay on a massive bed. She looked smaller somehow, weaker. Her silver hair was spread across the pillows like spilled moonlight. Dark circles hung under her eyes. She was dying. Anyone could see it. "Come closer," she whispered. I approached the bed. Up close, I could see the veins beneath her skin, blue and black, like something was poisoning her from the inside. 300 years ago, she began, our men went to war against the sea demons, creatures from the deep who raided our shores, stole our children. She coughed. Our warriors killed them all, but our men never returned. The ocean swallowed them. I frowned. So, your entire male population died in one battle? We have survived through shipwreck survivors, men like you. But the last one came 60 years ago. Her eyes locked onto mine. I am the last woman who can bear children, and I am dying. Without an heir, our people will vanish. Something cold twisted in my gut. You want me to? I want you to become our king, father our next generation, save our bloodline. I stepped back. I'm a soldier, not a king, and definitely not a... You are whatever we need you to be. That voice came from behind me. Valka. She was smiling, but it didn't reach her eyes. The sea demons have returned, Valka said. They've been raiding our borders, testing our defenses. They know we're weak. She stepped closer. We need warriors, yes, but we need children more. You will give us both. I looked between them. The dying queen, the ambitious niece. Something wasn't right here. I could feel it. 20 years of combat had taught me to trust my instincts, and right now they were screaming. Someone was lying to me. I just didn't know who yet. 2 weeks passed. I trained with their warriors, learned their language, studied their defenses. The sea demon raids grew bolder. Every few nights, dark figures emerged from the water. They wore black suits and carried weapons I recognized. Harpoons, diving knives, underwater propulsion devices. These weren't demons. They were men with advanced diving technology. One night, I captured one during a raid, dragged him into the jungle before anyone else could kill him. He was terrified, normal-sized, human. His accent sounded Pacific Islander mixed with something older. "Please," he begged, "I have a family." I pressed my knife to his throat. "Talk. What are you people? Where do you come from?" The truth spilled out of him like water. 300 years ago, there was no war against demons. There was a civil war. The men of this tribe challenged the queen's absolute rule. They lost. Instead of execution, they were exiled to a neighboring island, forbidden from ever returning. Over centuries, they developed diving technology, learned to live with the sea, became the demons in giant women's nightmares. We don't want to conquer anyone. the man said. "We want to come home. We want to reunite with our sisters, our mothers." My head spun. Everything was a lie. I let him go, watched him disappear into the waves. The next morning, I searched the beach where I'd washed ashore. Something had been bothering me since I arrived. The cargo ship sank too fast, too perfectly. I found wreckage in a hidden cove, pieces of the hull, and there, blast marks, scorch patterns I recognized from my SEAL training. Someone had planted explosives on that ship. Someone had tried to kill me. I dug through the debris until I found a waterproof case. Inside were documents, shipping manifests, crew lists, and a photo of my face with one word written beneath it: terminate. My old Navy commanders. They'd tracked me to that cargo ship, planted bombs, tried to bury me at sea. And if they knew where the ship went down, they'd come looking for my body. That night, I followed Valka. I'd noticed her sneaking out after dark, always toward the eastern shore. I kept my distance, watched from the shadows. A man waited for her on the rocks, tall, strong. He wore the same diving suit as the raider I'd captured. Valka ran into his arms. "Soon," she whispered. "The poison is working. My aunt will be dead within days. Then I take the throne. Then our people reunite." The man held her face. "And the outsider? He's becoming a problem, asking too many questions." Valka's voice turned cold. "I'll handle him tomorrow." I'd heard enough. I crept back toward the temple, but I wasn't careful enough. A massive hand grabbed my neck from behind. Valka's personal guard. "The Queen's niece said you might wander," she growled. I fought, threw elbows, tried every technique I knew, but she was 8 feet tall and strong as a gorilla. She slammed my head against a tree. Darkness. When I woke up, I was chained in a cave, and Valka stood over me with a knife. "Goodbye, small man." Valka raised her knife. I had seconds to live. Then thunder cracked the sky. But it wasn't thunder. Helicopters, 3 of them, black military choppers descending toward the island. My old commanders had found me. Valka spun toward the noise. That moment of distraction was all I needed. I kicked her legs out from under her, grabbed a loose rock, smashed my chains against it until they broke. Valka lunged at me. I dodged, grabbed her knife arm, twisted. The blade clattered to the ground. "It's over," I said. "The Navy's here. Your coup is finished." She laughed. "You think those soldiers care about us? They're here for you, and when they leave, I'll still be queen." She was right. The Navy didn't care about this island. They'd kill me and disappear. Unless I changed the game. I ran toward the temple. Giant women were scrambling everywhere. Warriors grabbed weapons. Children screamed. Chaos. I found Queen Ravana in her chambers. She could barely lift her head. "Your niece is poisoning you," I said. "Black liquid, hidden in her quarters. She's working with the sea demons, planning a coup." The Queen's eyes widened. "Impossible. The sea demons aren't your enemies. They're your men, exiled 300 years ago. They want to come home." For a moment, she just stared at me. Then something shifted in her face. Understanding. Pain. Centuries of lies crumbling at once. "Find the vial," she whispered. "Bring me proof." I sprinted to Valka's quarters, found the poison exactly where I expected, grabbed it. Outside, the helicopters had landed. Navy SEALs poured onto the beach, my former brothers, sent to execute me. But they weren't prepared for what waited. Giant women warriors emerged from the jungle, 8 feet tall, armed with spears and rage. The SEALs attacked, but the women moved like shadows, flanking, surrounding. I ran onto the beach and raised my hands. "Stand down," I shouted at the SEALs. "This island is protected. You won't win this fight." My old commander stepped forward. Lieutenant Davis, the man who'd framed me. "Jake Morrison, you're under arrest for treason." "I didn't commit treason. You fabricated evidence to cover your own crimes." I pointed at the giant women surrounding us. "And right now, you're outnumbered." Davis looked around. Dozens of massive warriors, spears aimed at his men. Then the ocean erupted. The sea demons rose from the waves, hundreds of them. They formed a wall behind the SEALs. Trapped, completely trapped. Davis lowered his weapon. His men followed. I turned to Queen Ravana, who had been carried to the beach by her guards. "These men will leave, and they'll never return. But first," I held up the vial. "Your niece has been poisoning you. The sea demons aren't demons. They're your lost brothers. End this war. Reunite your people." The queen took the vial, stared at it for a long moment. Then she looked at the sea demon leader, her eyes filled with tears. "Welcome home," she whispered. 1 month later, the tribe was whole again, men and women, together. Queen Ravana named me War Chief, not king, just what I'd always been, a protector. I was finally home,